who in turn may employ local people as part of the business expansion. We still encourage our residents to continue using Leader for any assistance they require with their businesses. Honorable Speaker, Renali Mme Ramauka Rose Silo from Hapatla, Makurutamaha Municipality. She's an entrepreneur. She's an SMME who specializes in clothing production. Krauru urukadia parocha sichu, urukadia parocha manyalo, limikiti, ya ufapa fapa. Akarle atsiba ori, kakwa haburi na kos kukuni, unyala onari anyala, lu unyadisari anyadisi. Upya, Neo waburina. She was not spared the wrath of the recent floods, when lightning struck all her sewing machine, leaving her and her employees without a source of income. She reached out to us. She reached out to us as government. We are currently in the process of assisting her. I guarantee you in this house that in the next 2 weeks, before the end of this month, Honorable Speaker, through Leader, we will be delivering and replacing those sewing machines. The former Premier, my former boss, taught me what Premier pronounced is policy. It must be implemented, it's not debated. And I still practice that. But honorable members, to cheer her up and affirm our commitment to her cause, I decided to invite her as my special guest. Thobela Muluhadi, if we gona o ka tamisha batho ba borena. Those who are thinking of getting married soon, we will give her the machines. You must go and get your dresses and your attire to be done. It's for those who wear overalls to make sure that we don't see that they don't understand fashion. She's here to help you out. She's here to help you out. In the next sitting, Muluhadi, here are your customers. Make sure they look beautiful. And we know you have the capacity, Muluhadi. Honorable members, when we said we are going to revive Leader, this is what we meant. Saving ordinary people who may not be able to access financial assistance from commercial institutions or also from the banks. So looking ahead for 2026-2027, the province will broaden support to enterprises owned by women, youth, persons with disability, and also our military veterans. And we are going to establish a provincial enterprise development technical committee and a broad-based economic empowerment committee. It's here to stay in Limpopo to improve coordination and measurable outcomes. So, honorable members, let me remind you that agriculture remains the engine for rural jobs, especially through agro-processing. Last year, I stood in this August House and I made a passionate plea when I said, it pains me every time when I drive past the once renowned Zebediela citrus farm, seeing it in its hollow state, failing to rise from the ashes. We are not a government of empty promises, but of action and of tangible results. Just last week, as a follow-up, I went back to Zebediela. This time around, it was not just me and MEC Nakedikekana Sibanda like we always do, but we were also accompanied by our capable, credible women of integrity under the company we hold. Yabo me Glorious Roba, Libo Mezanelembeki, Libo me Tenji Wemchinch, my mothers, who were officially, no, they don't need us to be where they are. These are women who listen to my plea, and instead of throwing stones, sitting in an armchair, they make a call to say, how can we help you? And we allow them to come, following all the supply chain processes. They don't need Popira Matuba to make a name. They don't need me. They are a name on themselves. So they were officially introduced to Yatladi CPA beneficiaries as their new investors. To them, it's about the legacy. To them, it's the fact that they were there when CPOs were introduced. To them, when I listened to them, they were sharing with me that when CPAs were introduced, it was not meant to destroy our farms. It was meant to empower people. So they are here to make sure they assist us. Already, farming operations have started, which includes planting 500 hectares of white sugar beans as an early soil preparation. Some of us were questioning who they are bringing beans, no longer a citrus tree. They explain they have got soil experts. The beans are preparing the soil towards a long-term citrus restoration. Because some of you have already started mobilizing that community where they want to change from citrus. And it's going to be harvested in July. And in July, I'm going to take honorable members here, those who always say over our dead body, to go and help them to plant when we start the first planting of the new Zebediela citrus plantation. Asset production is already underway, and the installation of approximately 37-kilometer electrical security fence and trenching to strengthen the perimeter. We hope the outcome of this intervention in Zebediela will also mirror the success story that we are beginning to see with the revitalization of the Majeje citrus plant, which is seeing completion by the end of March 2026, with final planting plan to reach 150 hectares. The expansion is already driving increased capacity needs at the Masalal Pack House. It is therefore my pleasure to announce that to this August House, already the project has created 40 permanent jobs and is projected to support 350 seasonal jobs once fully productive. So these successes, honorable members, are dependent on our CPAs. Let's begin to appreciate that as CPAs, we are not farmers. We probably, some of us, know nothing about farming. However, our ancestors have left us with this inheritance, the land. We are landlords, and we must have tenants. We must collect rental. We must share profits. And we as government, we are there to help you to collect that rental, to also share that profit. In that way, we shall have sustainable land that will continue benefit us for generations to come. At the same time, protecting food security and creating sustainable jobs. While we are patiently waiting for the review of legislation that governs our CPAs by the Minister of Land Reform and Rural Development, I'm glad that my boss is the deputy and he will push the minister because he knows the problem that his people are suffering. We must continue to intervene. Installed projects in the Chivasi, the Mahuwati estate, and many others who are still looked in the web of CPA versus productivity. Honorable members, not all is lost. Our commitment to follow up on all projects that were pronounced by the 6th provincial government continue to register positive progress. Even though our infrastructure investment at the Hereford vegetable cluster, the Tafelkop Farmers Association potential.
Samaka uva kona eka OK Finisher naswona hi vule hi tinxakanxaka ta swa nkoka hi mixavo ya le hansi swinene. Kuma 513 liter side by side freezer fridge ya ka My Dear ya silver sweswi hi 9,999 hlayisa 2,000 naswona ti hlayisile 2,000 loko u xava 19 kg top loader washing machine ya ka Samsung ya ntima sweswi hi 8,999 ntsena. Kuma mbuti lowu nga tshamaka wu va kona evhengeleni na le ka internet ku fikela hi ti 8 ta March ntsena eka OK Finisher ku na swipimelo.
Ku lahlekeriwa hi murhandziwa wa wena a swi olovi. Eka Clientele hi twisa leswaku ku lahla varhandziwa va hina hi xindzhuti swi na nkoka swinene. Hi hakela mali yo lahla ku nga sela 24 wa tiawara naswona u kuma airtime ya ntsengo wa 200 wa tirhandi loko u endla xikoxo leswaku u ta kota ku endla tinqingho ta wena ta nkoka. Nakambe hi sirhelela ku fika eka 13 wa vanhu eka ndzindzakhombo wun'we. SMS munghana eka 48044 yaleyo i 48044. Clientele Life i FSP ya le nawini ni muphakeri wa ndzindzakhombo wa vutomi la nga na layisense. Ku tirha tihakelo ta ntolovelo ku na swipimelo.
Siku na siku tiphayiphi ta le hansi ka misava ta Rand Water ti fambisa vukorhokeri tikweni hinkwaro. Ti khulukisa mamiliyoni ya tilitara ta mati ku ya emigangeni ya hina. Kambe loko vanhu va aka ekusuhi swinene na tona swi vuriwa ku nghenelela naswona swi na khombo ro chavisa. Loko phayiphi yi buluka yi nga khukhula makaya yi onha nhundzu naswona ku tlula kwalaho vanhu va nga lahlekeriwa hi vutomi. Hikokwalaho ka leswi Rand Water yi fumaka tindhawu ta yona hi vukorhokeri bya tipakani ta mbala wa wasi no basa lexi nga xikombiso xa le rivaleni lexi ku tsundzuxaka leswaku u nga tshineli leswaku u ta tshama u hlayisekile. Loko hi sirhelela vukorhokeri bya Rand Water hi sirhelela rixaka ra hina. Rand Water, finding new ways.
Clientele ya kota ku hlayisa na ndyangu wa wena hi ntwelavusiwana hikuva vutomi bya humelela. Ti-Funeral Dignity Plan ta hina ti pfunile maAfrika-Dzonga ku lahla varhandziwa va vona hi xindzhuti ku tlula 30 wa malembe. I nge hi ku pfuna ku tsala matimu ya ku khensa vutomi bya wena na varhandziwa va wena. Hi hakela ku nga se hela tiawara ta 24 naswona u kuma nsirhelelo wa tihakelo hi kambirhi eka rifu ra le gondzweni eka Clientele Funeral Plan. Ti-plan ta hina ta fikeleleka. Hlawula leyi fambelanaka na swilaveko swa wena. Joina namuntlha swo olova. Ku hava xikomelo xa rihanyo kumbe ku tata maphepha. SMS munghana eka 48044 yaleyo i 48044. Clientele Life i FSP ya le nawini ni muphakeri wa ndzindzakhombo wa vutomi la nga na layisense. Ku tirha tihakelo ta ntolovelo ku na swipimelo.
We have collaborated with all stakeholders to deal with mass vaccination plan in all of Limpopo. And we must appreciate our veterinary surgeons in our province who have been hard at work to make sure that they kept the spread of foot and mouth disease. As part of revitalization, over 100 non-functional agricultural schemes across the province. The Department of Agriculture and Rural Development is directed to audit all of them and provide support to bring them back to life. It is our conviction, Honorable Speaker, that using the land we have, we can spread the reach by supporting various agricultural schemes in the province, buying them tractors that will help them to continue their operation. We therefore direct you, MEC Mawai and MEC Menakedi Sivan, to finalize the funding mechanism for tractors to support schemes, not individuals who have access to us. We want the schemes to benefit through this program, and I trust my team. Next year, you will hear when I report, so many tractors have been delivered to the agricultural scheme. So this overarching approach, growth to strengthen value chains, agro-process, road-based job creation across our villages, township. Honorable members, infrastructure is a backbone of economic development. This is why in the 2025 State of the Province Address, we made a clear undertaking that infrastructure, especially roads construction and maintenance, will be treated as a backbone of economic development in Limpopo. Out of a total 20,000 kilometers of our roads, only 6,500 are tarred or paved, leaving 13,500 of gravel. These are provincial roads that connect residents to economic activities and also social services. We cannot overemphasize their need to be maintained. Hence, we'll continue to support our hashtag Dikgaregare Wednesday program. Honorable Speaker, today we report to the people of Limpopo on the progress made and what will be delivered next. As part of strengthening internal capacity to maintain those 13.5 kilometers of unpaved roads, the province managed to procure 64 earth-moving machines, whether it's your graders, your compactors, your tipper trucks, your front-end loaders, your trailers, and also all other utility vehicles. Enabled maintenance of 17,669.8 gravel roads through regraveling and blading, especially because of the recent floods. For direct the MEC for Finance to find resources to support not only maintenance of the existing, but also augmenting additional yellow fleet. The Dikgaregare Wednesday should continue. Guys. Honorable Speaker, we are also pleased to Sekgosese Road in the Great Municipality District. It's back on visits, confirmed that only 500 meters composed of the two bridges standing. But we can reassure this August House they will be completed 6 months, given their complexity, momentum, and accountability. Most, this is a road that we took the Premier of the province and the President and pronounce on the road. The reality that confronts as a province is that with current budget, we will never have required billions of rands to tar or pave 13,500 kilometers at a go. Hence our approach to appoint 21 to tar 21 projects distributed across all the districts. There's no executive member in my district. We don't have contractors on the 20 projects. We committed to the development of road infrastructure across all our 5 districts. The Department of Public Works, Roads and Infrastructure, through its entity Roads Limpopo, will commence this coming financial year the implementation of another 17 new projects in the 26-27 financial year with a total investment of 1.3 billion. I repeat, these 17 new projects, MEC Dikgaregare, they must be distributed across all our villages, so that even if I'm waiting for a road, when I see that it's not happening in one area only, I will be confident that iyeza nakum yemini. So this is in addition to the 21 new road upgrades projects and the 22 maintenance projects currently being implemented during the 25-26 financial year. So we call upon our people to be patient. Your turn will come, one village at a time, until all our villages will have access to quality roads and bridges. Honorable members, we are also encouraged by the public-private partnership model of addressing the backlog. We have recently completed the landmark Steelport Bridge, Hamalekana in Fitakhomutibat. Hamalekan. At least you are progressive for once. Hamalekan. A product of partnership with the Eastern Limb Mines, who contributed 90% of funding, while government contributed 10% through Road Agency Limpopo. Thankfully, this partnership is continuing, Honorable Member, as witnessed by the recent signing of another MOU to maintain the portion of Matlahari Road, Road D12 from R555 towards Mpumalanga in the Steelport area. On Wednesday, 25 February, in collaboration with Venetia Mine, we handed over a 5-kilometer road between De Vierte and Taaibosch in Blouberg Municipality, Taaibosch Municipality, to a contract. The agreement is that the road should be completed in the next 12 months. We appeal to our community to cooperate with the contractor to see to it that the project is implemented according to the time frames. We believe that this will give us an opportunity to seek alternative funding to the remaining 7.5 kilometers to reach Khoshikibi's place. Kwa hakibi ba mohananwa re a tseba hore a re so fitla mara re a tla re sa feta 5 kilometers. Re tlo fitla ngwa utlwang re tlo fitla. Honorable Speaker, we hope that our recent meeting with the South African National Defence Force will unlock challenges impacting on the Welisizwe Bridge implementation program, especially in the light of the recent floods. The South African National Defence Force has capacity that we require for speedy implementation of the recovery process that we as a province desperately need, like the famous Chinga Bridge. This is the bridge that has recently taken 3 human lives. Even this morning, I received another video showing the bridge overflowing. So we are therefore directing UMEC for Public Works, Roads Infrastructure, to focus not just on Chinga Bridge, but all the other bridges that are responsible for economic activities in parts of our province that have been damaged by our floods. Honorable members, we came to this house previously to request financial support to develop and build the ZCC St. Engenas interchange on the R71 road. This is not our road, it's a central road. But as a province, we felt we will make our own contribution so that we fast-track its implementation. However, we must report that to our disappointment, in the past 2 financial years, the allocations that we have made have been returned to Treasury because of Sandral's procurement delays. We have since elevated the matter to the attention of the relevant minister at national level for the speedy resolution. Government is making steady progress with the relocation of Sekhukhune district government offices from Leboakgomo to Jane Fairs to improve access services and support regional development. Since our pronouncement last year, key technical studies are currently underway, and a 21 million has been allocated for the 26-27 financial year to appoint professional team to lead the planning and design of the new offices. Our goal is to complete the designs and prepare the project for construction by 2027, while the finance stream continue to explore sustainable funding options to support this development. Tourism is positioned as one of the Limpopo's fastest routes to inclusive growth because it creates township and village jobs across the value chain. Tour guiding, accommodation, catering, transport, arts and crafts event. With global travel rebounding in 2025 and tourists increasingly seeking sustainable nature-based and cultural experiences, Limpopo is well placed to grow market share if tourism is deliberately integrated to sports, arts and culture. By the end of 2025, Limpopo performed strongly in domestic tourism, ranking net second national for domestic trips after December, KwaZulu-Natal, Durban. Limpopo, we are competing with them now. The province aims to sustain this momentum through consistent destination marketing and stronger product development. Our key initiative of Tourism Thursday campaign, implemented with local and district municipality to showcase local attraction and stimulate domestic travel. Our province, Honorable Speaker, is also growing its events portfolio. Our well-maintained Peter Mokaba Stadium has played host to PSL Cup final after many years. It has also played SAFA World Cup qualifier after many years. It also has hosted the CAF Games and many other continental games, showcasing our capacity to host high-profile national and international sporting events. Remember, the stadium is maintained in-house. It has not been outsourced compared to other stadiums. It has not been outsourced. We must also talk. However, there's still a need to bid for bigger events beyond sports, beyond national and international conference and convention. This is the more reason that we are directing the MEC for Sports, Arts and Culture, MEC for Public Works, Roads and Infrastructure, MEC for LIDED, work with the city of Polokwane to finalize on the matter of the construction of the Polokwane International Convention Center. The ministers are here. When it goes to cabinet, we already have got votes, so we are safe. Let's just use this opportunity to make sure that Limpopo is developed for the better. We have previously, enemies of progress, you will hear them having a problem for us to have an international convention center. Honorable Speaker, we have previously remarked that we need to create a logistic hub here in Polokwane Airport that will assist with various functions and to coordinate the strength of connectivity we have here. We are mandating MECs for LIDED, transport and community safety to finalize the planning process and coordination towards the realization of this vision. On connectivity, Limpopo, we welcome the Fly Safair Cape Town trip, Eastgate, Hoedspruit route, depending on what you call, but we want to make sure that we prioritize stronger collaboration with Fly Safair so that we can see even Polokwane International Airport, the ministers that we're having must fly from Polokwane to Cape Town. It will happen. We are women and men of commitments, not of promises. Entrepreneurs and civil societies are invited to propose eco and cultural tourism projects for partnership, while revised MOU with BRICS and SADC and renewed EU marketing aim to expand international reach. Honorable members, economic growth cannot be separated from social stability. Communities affected by violence, substance abuse, and gender-based violence are communities where children do not learn well, the business do not thrive, and families live in fear. In this regard, we affirm a truth that is too often overlooked. Arts, culture, and sport are not extras in development. They are part of the economic engine of Limpopo, part of social cohesion, and part of how we confront poverty and the high cost of living. Honorable Speaker, we are pleased that we have made progress since the sword turning in 2024 by our Premier Bomatawat. The provincial theatre is on track. You said we always make promises. Go and see provincial theatre. It's on track and it will be completed by 27-28 financial year, having created at least 78 jobs and supported 15 SMMEs. It will be. With its completion of the Limpopo Provincial Theatre in March 2027, mark my words, we are laying the groundwork for its full operationalization. Furthermore, we have committed an additional 18 million to ensure its operational readiness. This will enable the rolling out of theatrical production, film shows, craft markets, and performing arts in partnership with creative structures. Limpopo proudly owns the Linkompo genre as evidence in the national recognition, wherein for the first time, the Metro Awards has included this category in their annual event. This category is from Limpopo. So originated from Linkompo, it's our brand. It's a Limpopo champion. So we root, now honorable members, don't be jealous. You must root out for Shandesh, for Karishma, for Natalie Parker. They are already nominated in various categories of Limpopo, Likompo, and other artists who have diligently raised the flag of Limpopo. Of course, we are still saddened by those that have passed on, those that are still recovering, like Karishma, and those that have passed on, including our very own Dr. Nell. But at the same time, on a positive note, we welcome our queen performer, Makadziwa Borine, as she continues to promote Limpopo through her music and her unique dance moves that you can never find anywhere in the world. I'm, however, concerned that up to date, we have not finalized the creative industry strategy. Therefore, Honorable MEC Jerry Maseko, to make sure that the strategy is expedited by July 2026. Honorable members, education is Limpopo's most reliable foundation for inclusive growth, for poverty reduction, and for lowering the long-term cost of living. It is the bridge between the childhood disadvantage and adult opportunities, enabling people to work, build businesses, innovate, and participate in society with dignity. By strengthening skills and earning power, education tackles poverty at its source and reduces vulnerability to debt, to hunger, and also unemployment over time. We see learner performance improvement as an economic investment that supports the production of scarce skills across sectors. During the term, Limpopo's national senior certificate pass rate increased once more from 85.1% to 86.01%. This is attributed to stronger curriculum delivery, targeted learner support, and improved monitoring at schools at our circuit and district level. Our bachelor passes, let's talk about the quality that you were asking, because we are not only talking about percentage, we are also talking about the numbers. Bachelor passes rose from 41,370 in 2024 to 43,052 in 2025. Increasing the number of learners eligible to further their studies and training, highlighting as a clear pathway out of poverty or for many households. We owe this to the people of Limpopo. The success is not only from us as government. You know that our traditional leaders have adopted schools. We know that even His Grace, the Right Reverend, has got the schools that he is funding 3,000 per child. That is a challenge to big business. You should do 3 times the 3,000 per land if you really care about the future of our province and our country. Having registered the above progress, our focus now is performance on the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, our STEM subject. These are the foundation towards building relevant skills that our economy requires. Infrastructure and learning dignity remain our priority. Honorable members, out of 19 priority 1 students who needed urgent sanitation intervention as per our SOPA last year, 15 of them were completed. We are only left with 4 that are already at advanced stage, disturbed by floods. You said we are not finishing, we are eradicating those pit latrines. Polokwane municipality, honorable members, is experiencing rapid population growth due to migration, which has increased pressure on school infrastructure in the Capricorn South Education District. This has resulted in overcrowded classrooms and recurring admission challenges. To address this, we can't postpone this any further. We are directing the Department of Education to make sure that we finalize the planning stage for the construction of new schools and additional classrooms. I've checked with the city of Polokwane. The executive mayor assured me that they've made land available. Therefore, let's build that school which the community of Polokwane is dying to have. Honorable Speaker, 2025 we reported to this August House operational work to improve enrollment and learning condition for early childhood development, which we had noted its importance in the educational success of our province. We are proud to report to this August House that we have placed priority on improving our ECDs of offering through infrastructure investment. To that effect, we have renovated 54 ECD facilities and constructed low-cost ECD centers, including the Masisi site in Wembe District East. Now it has been completed with Mupani East having been planned. So both MECs for Education and Public Works, Roads and Infrastructure, during their budget vote, will give you the details on this ECD's infrastructure. A country or a nation that doesn't care of its children do not deserve the future. That's what our forefathers have taught us. Honorable Speaker, we have acknowledged the improvement we have made with the matric pass rate. However, we are worried about where this 41% or so will go. We are directing the MEC for Economic Development Cluster MECs for economic clusters to work with MEC for education, Mema Bongulu Ruri, to revive our goal of reaching the 55 focus school by the end of the 7th administration. We need agricultural schools, we need vocational schools, and we need the schools of technology, robotics and coding. Not every learner is going to be a lawyer. Not every learner will be a doctor or a teacher or a nurse or an engineer. We require more artisans. We require learners with vocational skills to match the demand of our growing economy. Honorable members, our envisaged mining and mineral beneficiation academy in Sikukune district is on the right track, and we will leave no stone unturned until it's realized. A high-level technical committee has already commenced with the designs in partnership with Services SETA Education Training Authority, and also the University of Johannesburg, which has agreed to partner with us. The Department of Higher Education and Training, and including mining houses, are also on board. Honorable Speaker, we made a commitment that we will work with Tshwane University of Technology, Giyani Municipality, and the Department of Higher Education and Training to make sure that Giyani campus of TUT established. To date, great progress has been registered, which includes refurbishment of infrastructure. Several key teaching and learning facilities are completed for both staff and students. Based on the special dispensation granted by the Department of Higher Education and Training, 230 students who still need to register have been admitted to the campus across 5 diplomas and honors in education. Honorable Speaker, reliable transport is central towards inclusive growth. It connects people to work, learners to schools, patients to clinics, and producers to markets. We welcome and commend President Ramaphosa for his unwavering commitment to the Limpopo-Gauteng high-speed rail project. It has made it to the SONA. That's a great achievement. Although some may dismiss it as merely an elite venture, let us remind everyone that there is no economy that can grow and develop unless there is investment in infrastructure, particularly mobility and commuting. Its ripple effect is felt by the very same poor and working class, starting with its construction phase, where many jobs will be created. Upon its completion, as part of decongestion N1, goods will be moved from road to rail. This action also has a potential to revitalize our small town like Bilabila, Mukopong, Mudimule, Mukopane, Makado, and Musina, and restore economic activities. When a minibus or a taxi, or a bus is involved on a head-on collision with a truck, majority of people who perish, honorable members, in these roads are the very same poor and the working class. So moving goods to rail will not only be providing jobs, but we will also protecting the lives of innocent people who die every day on our N1. In any way, the Marxist-Leninist political economy that I've studied, because I didn't do economy at university, teaches us that when you invest in the infrastructure, the primary beneficiaries of the ripple effects of that development of investment are working class, the poor, and the poorest. So by doing that, we'll be decentralizing development to villages and rural areas. And this is what makes us to continue to chart a course towards a better Limpopo, a better South Africa, where hope flourishes and every citizen play a role in our collective progresses. Honorable members, the Great North Transport is becoming great again. We have put a 3-pillar strategy in place to realize the complete turnaround and permanent financial sustainability for this entity. To date, the leasing pillar of the strategy has worked well, and we are now moving to the bus procurement and fixing pillars. We thank the leasing partners. In the next financial year, GNT will receive all 71 buses purchased by 30 September 2026. The buses will start coming in batches in May 2026. GNT will, at the same time, from May 2026, start fixing and at least 90 buses. Those buses that are there, we've already fixed one, working with the students from our TVET colleges. To this end, GNT has already received the first intake of 10 students from Sekhukhune TVET colleges who are working with their teachers using GNT as a training platform. So the project is tied to link to clear timelines against which we shall monitor and ensure that all milestones are met as per plan. There is a painful matter regarding former GNT employees' pension. The provincial government takes the matter very seriously. To that effect, we can report that the matter is now with the South African Human Rights Commission, and they are currently mediating through their provincial office. The provincial government trusts that the mediation process will uncover whether the errors were caused by GNT or pension fund administrators. The provincial government will then facilitate payments from the institution which committed errors and omission. The government instructed leader to procure the services of an actuarist to help us determine exactly what happened, by who, to whom, and by how much. All these processes are taking place under our watchful eye, together with the South African Human Rights Commission. Through the bus subsidy program, the province continues to provide affordable, safe, and dependable public transport for commuters, offering direct financial relief to working class families who would otherwise face unaffordable travel costs. From the 1st of April 2025, more than 900 million was invested to sustain 9 negotiated bus contracts. In the previous financial year, over 22 million passengers benefited. And by 30 September 2025, a further 12,454 million passengers had already used subsidized services, demonstrating both the scale and demand and the program's impact. At last, honorable members, we are pleased to report progress in unlocking stalled projects, notably the long-delayed Thohoyandou intermodal facility. Implementation has resumed under the Independent Development Trust, IDT. The contractor is on site. The contractor has been given directive to complete the remaining works. The taxi rank is positioned as both a transport and economic asset, expected to improve commuter experience, public safety, and trading opportunities that support township economy. Honorable members, we should begin to appreciate the totality of work we are currently doing to improve safety on our roads, especially during national holidays and other holidays like Easter and festive season. We have had a remarkable Easter campaign that yielded a positive result, including the 2025 Easter holidays, where we experienced 0 fatalities on N1 road. Equally, during December to January festive season, statistics show a 14% reduction in the number of accidents on our roads and 10% decline in road fatalities. However, we still want to emphasize that those who would not observe traffic rules, we shall gladly respond to their invitation to strengthen their behavior. Consequently, road safety will be strengthened through the planned 24/7 traffic enforcement. We are recruiting 154 additional officers and improved tools and safety system to reduce preventable fatalities. I therefore direct MEC for Transport and Community Safety, Manana Violet Mate, to initiate consultations with our labor forum to say we are going to introduce shift work. Other traffic officers will work during the day. When they knock off, another shift must come in because most of these accidents are happening at night. When we arrest you for drunken driving, it's because we are protecting your life. When we arrest you for overtaking on a barrier, it's because we love you so much, we don't want you to kill yourself and kill others. So we want traffic officers to work day and night, like all other security cluster professionals. Honorable members, the Limpopo Division of High Court, with its main seat in the Polokwane and local division of Thohoyandou, continues to enhance access to justice in our province. Under the leadership of Judge President Patudi and Deputy Judge President Siminya, supported by 9 judges, the division enrolled 274 serious criminal trials during the 24-25 financial year. These matters, including rape, murder, robbery, and aggravating circumstances, fraud and corruption, reflect the significant burden carried by our courts in addressing violent and complex crimes. The division successfully finalized 125 criminal cases during the reporting period, with 186 matters enrolled in Polokwane and 88 in Thohoyandou. Both seats recorded progress, including serious offenses securing sentences in the majority of finalized trials. We are reporting this because, honorable members, without a strong judiciary, fighting crime, fighting gender-based violence will just be a fruitless exercise. When we speak, Honorable Speaker, about reducing poverty and tackling high cost of living, we must also speak about our health, because illness is very expensive. It takes away income through lost work days. It forces families to borrow for transport and food while caring for a loved one. And it deepens inequality when rural households must travel long distance for services. A healthy Limpopo is a productive Limpopo. And that is why health is not only a social service, but a driver of inclusive growth and economic development. Our commitment towards strengthening tertiary services is meant to improve access to quality health care in our province. We are registering a reduction of costly referrals to Gauteng Academic and Central Hospital, even before we have that hospital. Construction of Academic Hospital is progressing very well. It's currently at 52%. Our teams of specialist clinicians cannot wait for this completion. We recently delivered conjoined twins in Mankweng Hospital. This would be ordinarily a case to be dealt in another province, but it has been done in a rural province, Hanamo Mankweng. I'm confident, honorable members, that our team of capable clinicians who are currently providing tertiary care services to these twins, and they will be able to take care of even future complex operation that the babies will have to undergo. That is why I'm saying to this August House, I'm calling upon the people of our beautiful province Limpopo to pray for both our twins, to pray for our clinicians as they continue to provide that care, which will include a complex operation to separate them. So just pray, because we know the capacity we have, but the intervention of the Almighty is also needed. Honorable Speaker, the need for the attendant Limpopo Medical School has now become critical. That is why we are calling upon the University of Limpopo, the Department of Higher Education and Training, to speed up the construction of the medical school campus. I've checked again, even on this one, with the Executive Mayor of Polokwane Municipality. They've already done their part. They've donated the land that is required to build that hospital next to the Central Academic Hospital. This is the university that many doubted many years ago when we established it. Today, we've produced doctors. Some of you have already consulted them, and they've treated you well, and you are sitting here alive and kicking, thanks to the ANC-led government. As committed last year in this House, we are pleased to announce that progress in various areas has been made, advanced. For instance, the advanced technology investment, which included the LINAC, linear accelerator, and the brachytherapy machines for our oncology patients, the 10 ceiling suspended X-ray units across our district rural hospitals, all maintained at 100% functionality. A 42 million PET scan that we spoke about last year unit has been procured, and it's installed in Petersburg Hospital, and the licensing is in progress. Equally, the staffing underway. We are a province on the move. You won't need to go on N1 to seek health in Gauteng. Utloikria, short left Polokwane, short left Mankweng. Honorable Mapo. The Department of Health has completed all outstanding infrastructure projects. Therefore, that moratorium MEC Mashiro on building for new clinics must be uplifted with immediate effect. We welcome the partnership with Venetia Mine, and together with the Department of Health, construction work of a clinic, Kuahakibi, Blowback municipality, must begin this financial year. We can't postpone it any further. We told you what the Premier pronounced, it's policy. You don't question, you implement. Our population is growing, honorable members. The burden of diseases is increasing. Our facilities are failing to cope. Therefore, the MEC for Health is also directed to develop a plan on how new clinics will be built in our province. We need even clinics here in Polokwane, like we also need schools. But when our cities and towns are growing, and when the population is increasing, services must also be provided. Children's retention on Limpopo has improved its HIV outcome, with retention of antiretroviral therapy rising from 93.5% to 99%. An HIV-free generation is just next door. Children retention, yes. Yeah, this one you can say no, but people are surviving. They are surviving because our HIV program, brought to you by the ANC-led government, it is working wonders. People are rising from the dead. People are surviving. Babies are born HIV negative from HIV positive mothers. What can you say? ARVs are free. Even when Trump tried to do whatever he did, the ANC government came on board, could not cut that program of ARVs. We continue to give ARVs. So children's retention has also improved. So an HIV-free generation is next door. Honorable Speaker, the health of our children remains our responsibility. It is of this reason that, as committed before, Another breast milk bank was launched in Mukopani Hospital. In addition to the best breast milk bank in Mankweng, in Letaba, and also in Philadelphia Hospital. Because the ANC-led government is leading.
Honorable members, order. Honorable Premier. Can we please? Okay. Honorable Mwan, I didn't see it. If there is a point of order, please raise a hand. Raise a hand. But I will plead with honorable members that can we please allow the Premier to proceed. Honorable Premier.
We call upon all mothers to donate breast milk because no child should be denied access to breast milk because of any circumstances their biological mother might be going through, especially after the President has directed the Department of Social Development to work with the Department of Health on the issues of stunting. We are monitoring progress for the construction of Siloam Hospital, which is now at 76% complete, earmarking it for June 2026 completion. Honorable Speaker, during the 25-26 financial year, our department responsible for cooperative governance, human settlement and traditional affairs delivered 3,469 houses and completed 918 services sites against an annual target of 2,923 houses and 1,962 service sites. These outcomes reflect both progress and areas requiring acceleration, particularly in bulk services and connection. Through our work in human settlements and community-based programs, we also contributed to inclusive growth and job creation. 27,448 work opportunities were reported through the Community Works program, and 1,413 jobs were created through housing, construction, and site saving. This is how government spending must work. We must provide services while at the same time expanding livelihoods. Honorable Speaker, all of us will age one day. Therefore, as a province, through our Department of Social Development, we continue to prioritize their well-being. To that effect, 537 older persons accessed residential care facilities. 14,708 accessed community-based care and support centers, while 1,000 older persons participated in active aging programs, our Golden Games, from July to September 2025. For the persons with disability, by December 2025, 284 accessed the residential facilities and 3,943 accessed protective workshops. In the 26-27 financial year, the province will expand capacity building for officials and stakeholders, strengthen advocacy, and establish additional protective workshops to reduce exclusion and improve access opportunities. Honorable Speaker, through our social relief program, we respond to disaster. We respond to bereavement. We respond to displacement and to unemployment shocks by assisting 7,903 people with services. While framed as temporary support, it is positioned as a critical lifeline to prevent deeper poverty. Family preservation services were also strengthened through 23 funded child protection organizations, reaching a total of 55,496 family members. This province reports that 150,147 families members were reunified and 26,184 participants in parenting programs. These are not just numbers, these are human beings. These are people who, some of them, if Ms. Ratiran, we did not intervene, some of them would have perished. So we want to thank the Department of Social Development to continue with your work. Honorable members, we welcome the declaration on gender-based violence and femicide as a national disaster. This is an indication that we are a government that cares, and we are worried about the rate at which these cases are occurring. We launched a 100 days gender-based violence and femicide campaign, strengthening victim responses, including support for protection. Teenage pregnancy remains our biggest challenge. It steals the future of our children. It shatters their dreams and takes away their dignity. We therefore direct MEC for Social Development, MEC for Health, MEC for Transport and Community Safety, MEC within all MECs within the social cluster to work in finding solutions to this pressing matter. It is not a one department problem, it's a societal problem. Honorable Speaker, our developmental agenda will remain incomplete unless it includes the most vulnerable sector of our society. These include women, youth, and people with disability. Research has shown that the need of these sectors remain overlooked. Therefore, we need a deliberate program coordinated by government. In addressing the challenges faced by these vulnerable groups, we will embark on a process of rebuilding, ensuring that it is an inclusive one, to allow ordinary people in Limpopo to assist, to take charge of their lives. This requires labor-intensive methods of execution. We shall set aside 60 million for sustainable livelihoods project, which will go a long way in mitigating for current or recurring incidents of this nature. The Office of the Premier is directed to implement an integrated program in the 26-27 financial year. Honorable members, as we alluded earlier on, this is a year of fixing local government. In simple language, it means this is a year to focus on the improvement of provisions of basic services, of water, of sanitation, of electricity, of roads infrastructure, and also of refusal removal. It as well means professionalizing local government, reducing municipal debts. It simply means it's a year of accountability. We have provided support to all our 27 municipalities in Limpopo with visible progress in compliance and governance, as evidence in the overall improved audit outcomes. While we once more congratulate Executive Mayor Mamidu Pitifo and Executive Mayor George Mayeko for recording once more clean audits, both in Capricorn and Waterberg District. We are also encouraged this time around by We are also encouraged this time around by 18 of our municipalities that have achieved unqualified opinions, improving from the 14 we had in their previous financial year. Let me take this opportunity and also congratulate our 4 municipalities that improved from qualified to unqualified. The Blowback, Bilabila, Collins Chabani, Elias Mutwalet. This is an improvement. At the same time, bravo to those who sustained unqualified audit outcomes. But we are also urging them not to be stagnant, but improve to clean audits opinion in the next financial year. Okusalayo, we don't have a disclaimer, we don't have an adverse. We don't have in Limpopo. We have improved even Tabazimbi after our intervention. It is now qualified. It is moving towards unqualified. One day, Tabazimbi will rise and become a clean audit. That is why the 7 municipalities that are remaining with qualified outcomes are a cause for concern. And while we acknowledge those improvements from 10 in the last year, we must also be fair. Qualified audits must not be normalized. They affect credibility, they affect investor confidence, and ultimately service provision. We expect consequence management where it is required, executive mayors and PMT. And we will provide targeted support as the provincial government to address the root causes. One day Limpopo will also have clean audits. All our municipalities are on the route to be unqualified. It will happen. We are also confronting municipal debt and illegal electricity usage through coordinated strategies. Municipalities with long-standing debts have entered payment arrangements with both Workcom and water boards, committing to pay current outcomes in full, accounts in full, while servicing historic debts. This is essential to stabilize services and prevent disruptive
Honorable members,
intervention.
Honorable members, can we please have order, please?
You are making noise. Honorable members, if we can not disrupt, we'll finish. Water is only a service. It's not only a service. It is a constitutional right and a foundation for dignity. It is also an economic enabler. Without reliable water, agriculture, tourism, mining operation, construction and small businesses cannot thrive. That is why we have developed the differentiated approach in water and sanitation provision strategy, aligned to the Water Master Plan and Limpopo Development Plan, to identify where communities are unserved and underserved, while they remain so that.
Honorable members, Honorable Max, I really have, I hope you will help me. Please assist us. Honorable Mugwane, Magaleadi. Magaleadi, if you have got a point, raise a hand, please. Please, please.
Honorable members.
Can we now proceed, allow the Premier to proceed? Honorable Premier.
Honorable members, Polokwane is not just another municipality in Limpopo. It is our capital city, the seat of government, the heartbeat of our administration, and the primary economic hub that carries the confidence of our investors, the movement of goods and services, and the daily functioning of thousands of households. Many of the people gathered in this house spend most of their times in Polokwane for work and service delivery responsibility. When Polokwane thrives, Limpopo thrives. When Polokwane struggles, all of us feel the consequences, socially, economically, and institutionally. That is why we raise the matter not to promote Polokwane at the expense of other areas, but because we understand its central role in the broader development of our province. Honorable members, the water challenges in Polokwane have gone on for is not giving our people water. Water provision must never be reduced to politics. It must never be reduced. It must. Lepelle Northern Water is a bulk water service provider, and it must as it is mandated. The Polokwane municipality, on the other hand, the ability to pay for services rendered and to manage its obligations with discipline. Let me be equally also clear. I did my homework. Polokwane does not own Northern Water, but the reality that each institution its part on time and without excuses. Our officials that we have appointed, be it in our work, be it in our departments, must stop being, they must leave politics to us, and they must do work and deliver work. It is for this reason that the office of the Premier has found it necessary to intervene. We cannot continue to beg each other while taps run by. Where there are failures of performance and poor coordination or conduct that undermines delivery, we will act decisively. Our residents deserve solutions, not rivals. Honorable Speaker, the matter, while it does not apply to Polokwane alone, but we are worried, and we must still repeat that our officials, our engineers must focus on giving people water and leave us to play politics and not allow to be used by opposition parties to fight the ruling party and government. As we have noted recently, we welcome the Honorable Minister of Water and Sanitation's intervention after we escalated the matter to her office. She must also act on her boards, because if what they are doing is wrong, it must be condemned. Tomorrow, the 6th of March at 7 o'clock, we will be meeting her and her team to finalize a decisive way forward, to clarify accountability across the value chain, from bulk supply to reticulation, and to ensure implementation timelines which are non-negotiable. We will not rest until water provision is stabilized, coordination is restored. Our Hinomati Friday campaign may have had its sluggish start, but its continuity is something we value and continue to promote. Our people shall drink water. This is a commitment to action. Mopani District Municipality, we've seen you, Executive Mayor, continues to show us how this is done.
No,
And
no,
we
no,
are
no.
going
Order,
to
members.
make sure
please wait.
that other
Premier, please
municipality follow suit.
Premier, please wait. But we're not going to accept what the DA and the EFF are doing. Please. Honorable members, can we please have order? No, no, you are not. In terms of the rules, you are not allowed to howl. Can you talk to the rules? You can try to speak. We have got the rules.
Honorable Speaker,
Raise
on a
a
point
hand.
of order.
Raise
On a
a
point of
hand.
order.
Raise a hand of
On a
order.
point of order.
Yes, please raise a hand.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I want to correct you when you say the behavior of the EFF and the DA. We don't have the DA and the EFF here. We have members of this provincial legislature. Address us correctly. That's number one. You see, now I'm not that type that is moved by howling. You must tell them, or howling doesn't scare me. Secondly, it's you, it's us who have agreed on the program that at 1:45 would be done. Now it's to 2. So you can't really blame us for getting tired. We are tired of listening to one person, and we are not going anywhere. You can say whatever you want to say. There is nothing you can do. There is nothing. Really, there is nothing. There is nothing. There is nothing you're going to do. All of you, I'm not scared of you. All of you, I'm not scared of you.
Members in the gallery must keep quiet.
You are not even moving me. Now I'm not scared of you.
Members in the gallery must keep quiet.
I'm not scared of all of you.
Order.
I'm not scared of all of
Order,
you.
Speaker.
Members in the gallery must keep quiet. Then your point of order.
I'm not leaving this house.
Speaker,
I'm
order.
not leaving this house. I'm not leaving this house. I can't be howled. Can you get me?
Members of the gallery must keep quiet. Allow Honorable Mukoni to.
Point of order.
We have heard you, Honorable Mukoni. Can we allow Honorable Mukoni to
And I can
speak as
take
well?
it on the whole day.
Can we please switch off the mic?
When I raise up, the speaker must rule on my point, not you.
Honorable Mukoni, can you please switch off your mic?
It's not you.
Honorable, please switch off your mic.
On my point of order.
Okay.
It's not his place to rule on
Okay,
my point of order.
let me rule on your
Yes.
point of order.
But
Okay. Let me rule.
that is out of order.
I called for an
Let
order.
me rule.
Order, Speaker.
Honorable Mukoni, can I speak? You'll come.
Including your
Honorable
guests.
Honorable
Mukoni, sit
Mukoni, can you
down.
allow me to?
Honorable Mukoni, sit down.
Including your guests.
Sit down.
You don't threaten
Honorable
me.
Mlapo, order.
Yes, he must sit down.
Honorable Mukoni, sit down.
Order him to sit down.
Including your guests. I won't be bullied by guests here. I'm not scared of all of you. Sit down.
Honorable Mukoni, sit down. Sit down, please. Thank you.
The speaker must make a ruling when my order we move.
The opportunities for you, Madam Speaker, to make a
Honorable
ruling.
Mlapo, you have not raised your hand. I will not allow you
Thank you,
to
make
speak.
a ruling, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, I want to make a ruling. Can you please keep quiet? Can you allow me to make a ruling? Honorable members, today it's a special day convened for a special purpose. It is convened to allow the Premier of the province to address the people of the province. Can we allow her to conclude her speech? Over to you, Premier.
Honorable Speaker and honorable members, on governance and accountability, Limpopo Provincial Government achieved 5 clean audit outcomes for the 24-25 financial year. We also obtained the 5 unqualified audit opinion. And this progress, it's rebuilding public trust and tightening controls where weaknesses exist. However, we will not be complacent. Sustaining and explaining these gains requires continuous monitoring, stronger consequence management, and improved internal controls across all institutions. We also note the mixed performance of our public entities. While the Limpopo Tourism Agency sustained a clean audit and Gateway Airports Authority maintained unqualified audit outcomes, regression in RAL and also in the Gambling Board remind us that governance must be consistent across the entire state system. So Treasury must intensify, and it will intensify technical oversight, strengthen financial reporting, and ensure that remedial actions are implemented. Honorable Speaker, traditional leadership remains central to development, social cohesion, and land governance across our province. We have constituted 141 of 203 traditional councils in line with the legislation. The remaining 62 will continue to be supported for reconstitution as we continue to address different challenges they face, ranging from dispute, conflict jurisdiction, and vacancies to court judgment. Honorable Speaker, we also reaffirm our commitment to honorable members. The total number of initiated various schools 2025, 40,017, and out of those, only 2 lives were lost, while 1 life any. We commend the work, coordination that has been done, Special Initiation Coordination Committee. Appreciate that work that you have done. Honorable members, provincial government is awarding one a case, which is a constitutional matter, which has declared Section 20 of our Limpopo Traditional Leadership Institution Act of 2005 as unconstitutional and invalid. This judgment has posed a serious impact and implication on levies of the traditional leaders. That is why I've directed the MEC for Treasury and the MEC for Coxta to come up with sustainable manner to resource our traditional council. I've also directed the MEC for Coxta to disperse funds to certain qualifying traditional authorities after amalgamation of the 3 former homelands. The process is far much advanced, and both MECs during their budget vote will outline further how we are going to fund our traditional council. Whether you like it or not, 80% of Limpopo is under the leadership of traditional council. So we have an obligation to support our traditional councils. As I conclude, Honorable Speaker, REIN reminds us that renewal is possible even after seasons of hardship, after seasons of floods. Remind us that if we do not build a strong channels, we should nourish, what should nourish can also destroy. Our task as the government is to make sure that the gains of growth do not wash past our people, but are carefully directed into every village, into every township and every town through the real infrastructure, through safe communities, through functioning services and an economy that opens doors for women, youth, persons with disability, and those who were too long excluded. Let us leave this house committed to turning focus into delivery, plans into projects, and promise into inclusive growth, into lived reality, so that when the rain comes, it becomes a blessing for all. And when the waters rise, Limpopo stands ready, resilient, and hopeful. Honorable Speaker, I would like to take this opportunity and express my sincere appreciation to the members of Executive Council who have carried their responsibilities with diligence, and the agency, and to our Director General, all our HODs, together with our CEOs of state-owned entities, for providing steady leadership to the administration and guiding our collective efforts in the right direction. Let me also thank the people of Limpopo for their tenacity, for their patience, and also for their support against all odds as we continue to serve them. We appreciate your feedback that you continuously make through our social media pages. We would love to address all the issues that you are raising, but those that you elected into this August House are denying us opportunity to do so. To my family, including my mother, and my lovely daughters, who have always my greatest support, I would also like to say thank you. But most importantly, to you honorable members, I say, ah.
timhaka ta vutshila na ndhavuko na vona va seketeriwa ku ri ndlela ya ku tiyisisa leswaku hinkwavo lava kumbexani va nga na mabindzu kumbe mabindzu lamatsongo va seketeriwa hi tlhelo ra swa timali. Leswi a ku ri ndlela ya ku fikelela leswi va nga hi tshembisa lembe ra ku hela leswaku va ta tiyisisa leswaku vanhu va laha xifundzeninkulu xa Limpopo va kuma mintirho. Va tlhela va vulavula hi vayeni lava nga va kona eka endhawini leyiwa na n'wana loyi a humaka kwala ka xifundzeninkulu lexi a nga seketeriwa ku tiyisisa leswaku nyiko ya yena yi ya mahlweni u kota ku rhunga. Va tlhela va tiyisisa leswaku va hi tsundzuxa ku hina hi lavaka ku rhungeriwa swo karhi hi ya seketela vanhu vo fana na yena ku tiyisisa leswaku mapfhumba ya vona a ya heleli moyeni. Hi swin'wana leswi kumbexani va vulaka leswaku mabindzu ya laha kaya na xifundzeninkulu xa Limpopo a hi maseketeleni ku tiyisisa leswaku ku nga vi ntsena ku endliwa mitirho kambe yi tlhela yi tiyisisa leswaku vana va hina kumbe vaxaka na vanghana va thoriwa nkarhi wo leha. Ka nkarhi wa sweswi wona muyingiseri hi amukela tatana Jimmy Machaka hi vona spokesperson xa ANC Limpopo eka siku ra namuntlha. Avuxeni ni mamukela eka Munghana Lonene FM.
Good afternoon to all Mganolene listeners and good afternoon to yourself.
Good afternoon, sir. So, what's your take on this speech? Are you happy? Are there any concerns that you have so far?
Look, as the African National Congress Province Limpopo, we are very happy with the Premier State of the Province address. And we are happy for the following reasons. One, the Premier did not just give new bold promises. The Premier has accounted Kuri what he promised the people of Limpopo last year and what is the progress this year. He spoke about the Musina Makado SEZ, Fitahomu Industrial Park. The progress is very pleasing. Land is being made available and we are waiting designation by Cabinet over the Fitahomu SEZ. He has made an account of crime activities in the province and how judiciary has been able to be of assistance. And as the province, we are very happy. He has made an account that unemployment rate in the province of Limpopo has went down. It's something that we want. But as the ANC, we are still saying that more need to be done. It must grow beyond how it has went this far. So as the African National Congress, we fully support the State of the Province address and all pronouncement and the progress that has been made.
And one of the promises that were made last year is about employment, and we have seen her talk about the support that the province has given to small businesses in the province to ensure that they are able to employ. Are you happy as the ANC Limpopo with the progress that it is? Because young people are still complaining, especially graduates in the province are complaining. Are you happy as far, given the give her a year?
Firstly, we are very happy that business has been given support by one of the government entities, because government alone may not be able to achieve all its targets. But for the fact that it has been funded, in return of this fund, there will be job activities, there will be growth in local areas, and ultimately grow the local economy. And as the ANC, we are very happy with that pronouncement that has been made by the Premier. We also acknowledge the State SA reporting that in the last year or the last final quarter, the province of Limpopo unemployment rate has reduced. And as the ANC, we are very proud. In fact, it's consistent with the promise that we made to the people of Limpopo. But of most importance is the partnership between government and your private sector, which made the pledges during your investment conference, and we're very happy about that. But these pledges must be translated into realities, because when it becomes realities, then the much needed job and the provincial economy will certainly grow.
When we started the interview, you spoke about how you acknowledged the fact that she accounted for the promises made in 2025 before she started making promises in 2026. Give me one promise that you're looking forward to or wanting to see come alive in the year 2026.
I think the issue of water in the province of Limpopo is one of the difficult areas, but we are very happy that the project of Nandoni Giani phase 1 has fully been completed and now people are receiving water. And we're expecting that phase 2 of the project must come in so that the people continue to receive water. He has indicated the resuscitation of Zibidiela Citrus Farm, that indeed a project that we thought has went to the ground is finally being resuscitated, and in due course it will still produce what Zibidiela is known for, the production of oranges. And it's something that we're very happy that the government that is led by the ANC and the deployees of the ANC, what it promised to the people of Limpopo tends to be reality. But of importance are the people who are affected by floods, homes that are lost, lives that were lost, and we support government initiative to restore their life back to normal, to offer them all the necessary support, and that will make the African National Congress happy in the province of Limpopo.
Well, thank you so much, Ms. Machaka. Apparently, you are wanted outside. Thank you so much for your time. And I see you are very happy indeed. You are happy. There is nothing that you can be complaining about. You are just a happy person.
Because service is being delivered to the people of Limpopo, and that's what they've always voted us for. So it's that time that we must also return back the favor.
Balavo wena mungiseri wa Mngani London FM Tatana Machaka mbulavuleri wa ANC Limpopo va karhi va vulavula hi leswi swi nga va tsakisa ka mbulavulo wa vona, va ri va tekela nhlokweni leswaku premier a va zanga va nga nghena ivi va vulavula ntsena hi timhaka ta switshembiso swintshwa leswi swi nga yimela vayingiseri kumbe vaakatiko va Afrika-Dzonga, kambe va tlhelele ndzhaku va ya nanguta na leswi va nga kota ku swi fikelela eka lembe la ku hela loko va hi tshembisa hi lembe ra 2025. Va vula leswaku va tsakise hi mapfhumba lawa ya nga kona ku seketela vantshwa na mabindzu lamatsongo hi tlhelo ra swa timali, ku tisa leswaku va thola na ku kota ku tiyisisa ku hlayisa mitirho ya lava nga thoriwa. Loko mi yingiserile mbulavulo wa premier va tlhele va khumba leswaku nhlayo liya ya vanhu lava nga riki na mitirho la xifundzeninkulu yi ye hansi, leswi vulaka ku va kote ku fikelela leswi va nga hi tshembisa swona loko va ku va ta endlela vaakatiko mitirho. Kasi xin'wanyana lexi kumbexani va nga teri hi xinanguta i timhaka ta mati, ngopfungopfu xifundzeninsongo xa Mopani na timpfula leti nga onha tindhawini to hambanahambana a Mopani. Va ku va vulavule na ku tshembisa leswaku hinkwaswo swi ta tshamiseka. Wena mungiseri wa Mngani London FM ka nkarhi wa sweswi a hi yeni ya twa mahungu ya awara ya mbirhi mi ta hi khomela.
Mngani London FM makombandlela.
Inungwati minete kumbe awara ya mbirhi. Wena mungiseri wa Mngani London FM makombandlela hi karhi hi amukela Dr. Phophi Ramathuba, premier wa hina honorable no saseka ka vona eka siku ra namuntlha. Va nyikile mbulavulo wa wona wa tiko mi titwisa ku yini na leswi mi nga langutela swona ku swi fikelela. Hi phamavoko hi tlhela hi vuyelela eka leswi mi nga kota ku swi fikelela lembe 2025, hinkwaswo leswi mi nga swi tshembisa mi tlhe mi kota ku swi fikelela. Lembe leri hi xihi lexi mi ngo pfhumba leri ni la ku ri languta hi vurhonwana ri ze ri fika makumu?
Lembe leriwani ku na ti-project to tala leti hi nga vulavula hi tona ti suka ka lembe ro sungula, ku fana na Musina Makhado SEZ. Ma vona leti ti Musina Makhado Fitakhomo Tobatsi ni fanele ku kuma license leyi. Ni tshemba leswaku ni ta yi kuma before June yi fika. Loko u kuma license before June yi fika mi ta vona lavaya van'wamabindzu hi nga vulavula hi vona va suka ku sungula ku tirha. Musina Makhado va sungurile ni lava ku vona ti-project leti ya ti hela. Kuna ti-project ta vaakatiko ku fana na mapatu, patu leriya ra le Muriveni, mabro ya kona laya mambirhi hi fanele ku ri ya vona in the next 6 months ya fanele va ku herile hi khata ti-ribbon ta mapatu laya. Hi fanele ku vona because ti-floods leti mi twile ni teke nkarhi ni lava ku kombisa ku ri ti-floods leti ti hi tlherisele ndzhaku, mara sweswo a swi vuli ku ntirho wa hina a hi wu endlaki. Ndzi lava ku vona lembe leriwani ka mapatu laha a nga onheka, ka vambawula leyi ka Vatswinga, mapatu laha hi kona ku a lunghisa through ti-Welisizwe bridge na public works. Ni lava ku vona le ka agriculture orchard liya ya Zebediela ni ta yi landzelela hi nexe. Loko ti-CPA ti sungula ku lwa ni ta nghenelela hambi ku ri tani na kutani, because hi huma ku kuma vanhu va mhani va tixinduti ku ri va kota ku nghena va hi pfuna. Se hi fanele ku vona yi fikelela la yi faneleke ku ya kona.
ni mi byela leswi nga tsakisa mina ni tsakisa hi ku mahaya mahlweni mi kucetela leswaku tindzawulo ti tirhisana leswaku ndzawulo leyi kota ku tirhisana leyi ku fikelela makungu lawa na hashtag Hinwa Mati Fridays ni khense swinene
Hashtag leyo yona i number 1 ka mina.
ina ni khense swinene Premier ni hlayiseka una mingiseri wa muganda na FM hikokwalaho ka ku va Premier va karhi va tsutsumela ku ya kun'wanyani hi tele hi nga yimela vona a yo la ku tiva leswi kumbexani va ngo leswi va ta swi yimela mi va tivaka ku i Premier wa mugingiriko loyi a yimelaka xin'wana na xin'wana mi swi vonile hi loko va ya kuma n'wana lembe ra ku hela loyi a ngo a tikile a ye ku bebuleni va swi landzelerise swi ze swi ya fika makumu timhaka ta xikolo ku ri vana va pasa pfhumba rin'wana na rin'wana leri ra dyondzo a va ri kona Premier se na lembe leriwa va ri Zebediela Makhado Mariveni hashtag Hinwa Mati Fridays va ta ti landzelerisa hi voxe wona mingiseri mani ku teka ni kherisela studio 13 la hi nga ta kuma Ike Ngobeni na Mchangani va ku tisela nongonoko Dzumba na mina.